Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's December 18th. Just go over the markets, and then I'm going to talk about some of the plays I'm looking to get into, and I think would be really beneficial for us. And then I want to go into detail about what's going on, what I see going on for next year, and then FOMCs today. So the market, whenever we have FOMC, is very volatile. So I know last night Bitcoin went all the way from 108 to 103. It's like a 5% drawdown. Now we're back at 104. And this happens every time with FOMC. It's just super volatile. And then for sure, we're getting a 25 basis point cut. I don't doubt it. And then Jerome Powell always knows what to say. So I'll be optimistic about the outlook of the economy, which I am too. Doing my research, I actually am. And then I'm going to get into detail about that. So since I don't see us having a blow off top by the end of the year, the price hasn't dictated that, as well as actions by the pretty much from the last PMI. I didn't see that. So the way it looks to me now is like my original thesis that March pretty much will be that big peak where I pretty much when doing technicals on it, I see Bitcoin getting somewhere between 150k, 170k, and then pulling back and having our correction. Like we'll have a correction for sure, and we'll have like a little pullback going into January. That's what I see now. I don't know exactly where the price will head, but I use Bitcoin because it's a good indicator of how the markets will react. And then pretty much we'll get the rate cut. And I pretty much see us getting one, maybe two more rate cuts going into next year. And then we're going to keep a lookout for this soft landing narrative because that's pretty much going to start signaling market sentiment change. That is pretty much near top, and that can happen anywhere between weeks and months. But I'm generally thinking like February we'll probably get that. So that would be like a peak right there. And then it's going to be when it gets to that narrative, the next underlying indicator of like a top will be a question if rates are necessary, because then there's just, if you do too many rate cuts, then that just weakens you do rate cuts for a weakening economy. So too many rate cuts, you just lead into a recession. What else? I always keep an eye on the labor market. So the labor market's been shit. But I do see it improving after Q1. And then I think Q4 now and maybe January pretty much. Unemployment should go up because generally it is the holidays and all and whatnot. Most importantly, I do see inflation going down going into next year, and the one that's going to benefit the most from that is going to be IWM, which is small caps, and this is just because small businesses are just going to get a massive relief from reduced inflation and rate cuts going into early next year. So IWM, so the markets just forecast the future. The outlook is 6 months, what they predict. That's how the market works. It's 6 months of front running of what economic decisions are made. And IWM should start, see, it should start going up. But originally I was thinking IWM because it's been trading like sideways. I assumed by November that we'd be putting in new highs, but we just haven't. It's just been sideways. But I do see that now going into early next year, and as a result of this, miners will go up. And sorry guys, I know miners have just underperformed. BTBT, Mara, CLSK. I know Mara's up, but that's because of the convertible bond notes, which is a great idea. What they're doing with the convertible bonds is definitely a smart move. It's the micro strategy plan. It's the MSTR strategy basically. But I'm very bullish going into next year. I'm cautiously bullish, pretty much like going into Q2. So I'm not going to be. So now I'm going to talk about plays. I'm not going to be too crazy in leap calls. I think the only leap calls I really want to keep. BT is fundamentally just a great stock to hold. I mean, they have 27,000 Ethereum that requires no maintenance fees. There's the operational costs on their AI and HVAC are so slim. They have zero debt. They're just sitting on their butts, just making millions of dollars just off their Ethereum staked. Like, come on, like. So easily I see that going to $15 just based off of market cap and IWM flipping. So I'm gonna keep my May calls for BTBT. Mara. I'm thinking of rotating my January calls and my February to March for Mara. CLSK was actually my worst performer this year. I lost quite a bit on CLSK. It's been a tough stock to hold. If any of you have, I think two of you have CLSK. Yeah, it's brutal stock to hold. I'm not getting any more CLSK, even though it's a good company. And it should go up. I see it going to the 30s. Q1, Q2 for sure. And then I'll bring this up on Bitcoin. You guys can see this price chart. Like I mentioned, I see us at least in the short term by Christmas getting up here, then pulling back for January. So now I've mentioned I don't know where the pullback will be. I'll get a general direction once we're a quarter into it, and I'll have an idea where we could go and if it holds there. And then, just like my original thesis, so March, we're going to have a peak. So Bitcoin, just by Bitcoin dominance, it's funny with Bitcoin, the way it moves historically, they all rhyme. They're in some way same if not different, but they pretty much play out the same. So by March max, we should have a peak on Bitcoin. Alt season should be starting anywhere between January to and ending sometime like June the latest, like after Ethereum. Altcoin season will drop. So for plays, I'm keeping my BTBT calls and my MAR calls going into March, but that's pretty much it on miners. If you want to do miners, I highly recommend shares. Just do shares for MAR and BTBT. Good pays. Sorry, I can't even speak. Good plays. Let's see, MSTR and MSTU. So MSTR, I still see one more push. So I'm still holding. That's my largest stock position. And MSTU, I definitely goofed getting the MSTU calls. I don't see it as a good play. I put 20. So now after their 10-1 split, so it's 25 and 20 strike. I'm thinking of rolling those over till March, but honestly, I'm just gonna do shares on MSTR and MSTU. No leap calls. I'm pretty much done with my calls, and I sold what I had in November, which was great. And then alts, the way I see it now, for alts are pretty much going to be our best plays for next year. So getting in good altcoins, even if we get a dip, those are good buying opportunities. Or just hodl. Don't sell. Unless I see something that I'm like, oh shit, okay, well, this isn't good. Then I'll be like, we gotta sell, guys. I'll give you guys a heads up. But I don't see any indicator or like anything really that makes me panic or be like, oh, that's bad. Like the market's definitely messing with us and putting in like trading sideways and putting lows on alts. But don't panic over that. At the same time, these risk assets shoot up a lot. So you shouldn't worry about it. I'm still in all my positions. I still see early January. We still got a little more up. We do got a little more up. I wouldn't sell. I know the holidays are over here and are almost here, and sorry we couldn't close our positions early. It's just the market. It just plays games. That's just how it be. Nothing doesn't go exactly to plan. But next year we're gonna start to see a rotation to assets. Absolutely, into altcoins and small caps. I also had a question why small caps underperform. It honestly has to do with the administration because of the Biden administration. So inflation costs really destroyed small business. I'm sorry, inflation destroyed small business. So I really do see inflation coming down going into early next year, and that's gonna definitely help out. And then rate cuts always that's bullish just in general for stocks. So that will go up. What else? And then I'm gonna go over alts and I'll show you guys some of these charts. For stocks so I'm gonna put up like I've said, I'll put up an Excel possible plays. So stocks are starting to top for sure. The only ones that you should hold are like Tesla, Palantir, I think I have a couple guys who have Nvidia hold, definitely hold. What other plays did everybody have? You can't go wrong with the Mag 7. Amazon, Google's, Microsoft, you can hold those. They're going to go higher. As the market goes up, those will go higher going into next year. But it's a definitely, I definitely see miners you're getting a better return on investment going into early next year. Let's see. For shorting, let's see. I actually am thinking for the January pullback, I want to do puts and shorts on MSTU at the money, so nearing price, whatever it's at, and then SoFi and Palantir. Actually, Palantir's been on this rampant up growth. Prices just keeps flying, so I do expect a pullback. Tesla's another one, but I don't know. Tesla looks really bullish. I don't want to mess with Tesla because of how bullish it looks. I'd rather do SoFi or Palantir and just put puts on those. And then any puts or shorts you do, it's short term. You don't want to do long term unless we're going into a bear market, which we're not. We're still in a bull market next year. At least the first 2 quarters of next year, bull market, bull season, absolutely. So I wouldn't hold those shorts or puts too long. It's usually like a month or a couple weeks. And if you get puts, always a month or longer, depending on the play. Yeah. Rotation of assets. And then I'm going to post up, I'll show these charts real quick. This video is going pretty long. Ethereum still on track. Tesla. So let me look at Tesla. Tesla is really bullish. It broke through this fib easy. So if it does break out of the 500, the next target would be 572, which is a possibility. It really can. And then the higher it goes, then the higher this bottom would be that we would pull back on. So I see it like this in the short term. As of right now, this could be the top, and we could just start pulling back. But we'll see by next week. The Doge whiff. Don't worry about those. Once Bitcoin, because Bitcoins start pumping, these will pump as well. So all meme coins will be pumping. Polygon. I am once Bitcoin hits the 120K range, I'm actually gonna swap pretty much 3/4 of my Bitcoin positions to alts. So Polygon's going to be a big one. I do see it coming down here, and this is a great dip buying opportunity. I still stand by what I say, as Polygon is one of my best to buy into. Another good one that's an AI project is FET. FET, I do see going in the fives next year. Avalanche is another good one. I do see going to 200. Solana, definitely 500s for sure. I see a lot of people putting, at least on X, like 700s. It's a possibility, but I mean, I try to stay conservative. XRP, I know some of you already know my stance. So XRP is a Ponzi scheme. It is not a legit token. It has no real utility because it's never stress tested. The amount of validators, the amount of the supply that's held by the creators. This is a Ponzi scheme, 100%. This, Cardano, Litecoin, they're dead. They proved that they're not going to stay around. So you can play this. This will go up. I see XRP going to $7-10 range. But there's better opportunities, at least to me, if you want. So early January, I think, is a good time. January, yeah, probably mid to early February, good buying opportunity. I'll go over it again sometime, and then you could sell at 7. Bitcoin dominance. So I do see this going up just a little bit more, and then it's going to pull back, and then all coins are going to start to pick up, and then it's just going to keep doing that for the next 2 months, and they're going to go back and forth, but all coins in Bitcoin will be picking up. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. What is it at? 15 minutes? Damn, I was trying to keep it under 10 minutes, but yeah, that's a lot I talked about. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just want to let you guys know we're good right now. Sorry about miners, they freaking suck. But they'll pick up next year, and I'm rotating all my positions on miners for basically March. When you do calls, you always want to add as much time, because theta destroys your gain, so that's time decay will destroy your profits. But I'll text you guys on the BTB, BT, and those in Mara next week. We're gonna sell next week. We're selling on those. Yeah, and I'll give you guys a heads up when I do. Alrighty, guys, have a good one. Happy holidays.